This video is sponsored by Thrive Market. You will hear more about them later on. And welcome back to another What I've Been Eating video, where I show you what I've been eating lately in a video. I'm using up some of the stuff that I have taking up space in my kitchen. I had plans of doing a Trader Joe's video, and then I realized that I don't have room for going and having a shopping spree at Trader Joe's right now. I need to use up some of the stuff that I have in the kitchen before I go crazy. Anyways, that's what we're doing for this video. So now I will be going through the fridge, freezer, pantry, showing you the things that I already planned that I'm going to be focusing on this week to make meals or things out of. Anything that is expiring soon, has been just sitting there for a while, that I will neglect if not forcing myself to use it for this video, or just like I have excess of. So anyways, starting with the fridge, we have some whipped chocolate icing frosting. My mom made me a cake for my birthday and she just gave me the rest of the frosting that didn't go on the cake. There's not that much left, but like a decent amount that I don't really want to waste because it's good frosting. It kind of reminds me of like donut frosting. I don't know what kind of donuts, it just made me think of donuts. So I was like, could I make like some air fryer donuts or something like that, where I just make like a few, you know, some sort of like easy donut recipe where I can just spread this on there. Because I don't know what or I also thought of making like mug cakes and then putting this on there. Alright, so I did end up making donuts, and the reason why I mentioned air frying donuts was because I really just didn't feel like deep frying donuts. But I forgot about baked donuts. You know, I actually have a couple donut pans that I forgot that I had because I left them at my parents' house when I moved out. But I got them now. I was thinking about something like the Whole Foods vegan donuts because those are actually really good and honestly satisfy my craving for donuts basically just as much as traditional fried donuts. But what I ended up with was not like that. It was not nearly as good. I just kind of used one of the first recipes that I could find that had like normal ingredients when I was looking at vegan baked donuts recipes online. Just a lot of them, the ingredients were not what I wanted, you know, they were too complicated or it was gluten-free or low sugar, blah blah blah. This one seemed normal, so I was like, okay, let's try it. It was still good, okay? They're just like little cakes. They seem a little light, you know, like almost like it's a healthier kind of recipe. They're still delicious, but not what I was hoping for. So if anyone has any recipes for something similar to the Whole Foods baked vegan donuts, those are so good. Again, these were not bad, and they turned out really cute, which was fun. You know, I really enjoyed the sprinkles and I got to use up the chocolate frosting, okay, but I want the Whole Foods vegan donuts. They're so good. I need to figure out how to make those at home. But before we get on with the rest of the video, you already know what it is. We gotta take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Thrive Market. If you've never heard of them before from them sponsoring many of my previous videos, Thrive Market is an online subscription-based grocery service that has lots of food, including lots of vegan, organic, gluten-free health items, as well as lifestyle, home, beauty. So let's go through it. Number one, I got some oat creamer. I've never tried this oat creamer before. We've had a few situations lately of running out of milk / creamer, so I thought it'd be good to stock up. I like that it's unsweetened, you know? A lot of creamers tend to be too sweet. I got some gum. Love me some gum. Shove this in my bag / vehicle. Oh, I got some rainbow sprinkles. I wanted to make some like donut type thing in this video, you know, so not all sprinkles are vegan. A lot of sprinkles have, you know, 100 ingredients in them, and honestly, half the time I'm like, it could be vegan. But do I care to like look it up, you know? Not really. So I'll just go on Thrive Market and get some sprinkles where I can filter my search for vegan and type in sprinkles and I can just find some vegan sprinkles. So they're dyed with spirulina and vegetables and stuff, so pretty cool. I also got some of this. I think it's like furikake type of thing, you know? It's got some sesame seeds and seaweed stuff in there. Interested to put it on rice bowls and such. Oh, I got some chives. I don't have any chives and I just thought that that would be fun to have. I like that this bag is recyclable because I have like empty spice bottles that I've been saving because I want to like do a thing. We'll see. But then I can like fill one of them up with this. Oh, I got this cheese sauce that I've never tried this brand before. You know, I was looking at the deals sections, like the sales section. This was like half off, so I decided to check it out. I like to see like what's on sale on Thrive Market because there's always like interesting stuff that I've never seen or never like tried before. I don't know if I'm gonna make it in this video, but I have been seeing all these people make the salmon tofu, you know. Have you seen it? Have you seen it? They marinate tofu with like a salmon-y marinade and then they fry it and whatever. I don't know. Basically making salmon out of tofu, but the marinade usually has like beet juice in it to give it that redness to make it remind you more of salmon. So this is the only non-food item I got. Waterless foaming dog shampoo because my dogs smell sometimes. You know, you can only give them baths so much because it's bad for their skin. Last but not least, my free gift is some soda, which I actually kind of want to have right now. Prebiotic soda. That's cool. It has sugar in it, organic cane sugar, but not very much, and then it also has stevia added. I actually like when things aren't necessarily like no sugar, you know? It seems like everything is either like overly sweetened with a lot of sugar or zero sugar, artificially sweetened, or like zero sugar and it's bland as hell. I like how they use sugar, but they're just like a little sprinkle of sugar, you know? So yeah, I love Thrive Market and I love having them sponsor my videos because I love having things shipped directly to my door, of course, and I love that the shipping is free if you spend over $49, and it's also carbon neutral, recycled packaging. Shipping can be really helpful if you tend to take special trips to certain like health food stores. If you don't have health food stores near you that have certain like organic or vegan products, you can get your little goodies on Thrive Market. So if you want to sign up for Thrive Market and get access to the deals and goodies they got on there, you can either click the link in the description below or you can go to thrivemarket.com/EmilyEwing and get 30% off your first order as well as a free gift worth up to $60. And thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video, and we can get back to the rest of it. It's all sweet things so far. I have this teeny bit of Costco strawberry jam spread that is so good. There's really not that much in here, but not that long ago on my channel I realized that if you shake milk with strawberry jam, it just tastes like a really good strawberry milk. Also, if you mix tea, like green tea with this, it makes like a nice like strawberry green tea. But you have to like shake it or use a frother or something to where like you can really get all of it from all over. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna do something with this. Some sort of beverage. I've been deciding between making a tea beverage or a coffee beverage, but on this day that I filmed this, I just felt like having coffee. So I was like, let's try to make some sort of like strawberry milk latte, you know? And I also had these freeze-dried strawberry slices that I wanted to use. They're not expiring, but they're like getting softer, you know? Like they don't have the crunch that they used to have. So I just feel like I should use them. My idea was to use agave syrup as like a glue to place the strawberry slices like around the cup in like a cute way, but number one, agave is not as sticky as I thought it was, and also I should have used a cup where I could actually stick my hand in there and like place them better. I didn't realize how narrow the mouth of this cup is, or jar. I just ended up giving up and there's just like a pile of strawberry slices on the bottom, but it still is fun. I don't know. And then I put the ice in there to help them stay sort of up. Then I poured my milk into the jar to shake it up, mix it up, and that got a good amount of it mixed in, but this jar has been like sitting in the fridge for so long like that it was pretty stuck on the side, so I used a spatula to get it down. Also, this jam is like kind of chunky, you know, there's like bits of fruit in there, so it's not all gonna mix in, but I think that's fine. Anyways, I also used a milk frother to help mix it together also, and also froth the milk, which is kind of fun. And then I'm just pouring it in, and a lot of the strawberries kind of disappear in there, but that's okay. And then I poured in my coffee. This is just pre-made coffee. I make coffee every few days and just keep it in the fridge for iced coffee. It looks like a Christmas beverage, you know? It looks like some sort of like candy cane chocolate milk
thing that I made, but no, it's a strawberry milk latte. And then I put in some more milk and stirred it around. There wasn't, you know, that's one thing about froth milk, you got less room in your cup to put all your shit in there. So I probably should have just used a bigger cup, but that's okay. It was really, really good. I really liked it. The strawberry flavor was not super strong, but that's kind of good because I don't know if I would want it super strong anyways, you know? It just gives this like fruitiness to the coffee that I liked. And also using jam or jelly or whatever obviously sweetens it more. So this was a pretty like sweet drink with the agave and the jam.
I already got out this to hopefully defrost it. I had an extra tofurkey loaf. No, not tofurkey, just turkey roast. I don't know if I've ever had this before, and honestly, it kind of was disappointing in my opinion. I expected it to be exactly like the Trader Joe's one because it looked exactly like the Trader Joe's one, but I kind of feel like it wasn't as good, even though I love Gardein chicken products. Something about like it just being in large scale, it just wasn't that good. But I thought about what if I cut it up and put it in soup, because I really want to make a soup, right, with the meat from this, and then either just put the stuffing that's inside in the soup and it'll just kind of like thicken the soup. Brown and wild rice, cranberries and kale. So it's kind of like a wild rice soup. So maybe it wouldn't be chicken noodle. It would just be like a chicken and wild rice soup. You know, I feel like that'd be good. But then there's cranberries in the soup. Is that weird? It's like a Thanksgiving soup. I think it would be good. Yeah, it'd be like everything of Thanksgiving in a soup. And then the broth would have sort of a gravy flavor maybe. Think about it. And then you put celery and carrots in there. And some like cut up spinach or something. I don't know. That sounds good to me.
Okay, so here I'm making my turkey loaf soup, my turkey roast soup. It doesn't focus on the loaf the whole time. I did not realize, but at least when we get to the actual soup making, it focuses. So just if you feel like looking away, that's okay. I started out just like slicing and cutting it into strips, and then I realized that I should maybe cut the meat part away from the stuffing so that they can kind of cook separately in the soup, you know? I don't know. I was kind of thinking the stuffing would like mix into the soup, like a wild rice soup, because it's a wild rice stuffing, you know? But anyways, we'll get to that later. I put some olive oil and my onions in the pan, and then I thought that it'd be a good idea to saute the strips of turkey loaf first, like with the onions, thinking that it would like help it just make sure it's all cooked well, you know, before I put the other ingredients in. But I didn't realize how sticky the texture of it was going to be, so it like really badly stuck to the bottom of the pot. Probably should have done it a different order, but you know, it ended up being okay. But then I decided I should throw in my veggies so I can like get it to start, you know, get some moisture in there and break it up maybe. And I keep salting as I go. And I also added in my mushrooms to get more moisture in there. And I actually forgot the zucchini, that will come later. And yeah, I'll try this again someday. I'll probably start with the veggies first. Yeah, so here I added in my zucchini and a lot of water. And here I'm adding my seasonings. I put in a bunch of dried thyme, a bunch of dried rosemary, garlic powder, some turmeric just because I thought the color might be nice, some paprika, pepper, and crushed red pepper. I think that's it. I always just do whatever like sounds good, you know, but especially if you want like a holiday kind of Thanksgiving-y kind of thing, I feel like thyme and rosemary is good. And then I put in the big chunk of stuffing. Like I said, I wanted to put the stuffing in separately, and I thought maybe it would just kind of like mix into the broth and maybe that would be good, like a thick broth, you know, but actually it stayed kind of in chunks. But that ended up being really good because they were like a little stuffing dumpling in there. Like just this soft, chewy thing, doughy thing. I don't know. It was really good. So I would definitely do this again. I mean, I guess it's a little expensive since turkey loaves are kind of expensive, but if you just end up with extra turkey loaf for whatever reason.
But then I have this small, like 1 serving amount of fettuccine. I think it's like kind of all broken up. So maybe I should put this in a soup.
It actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be when I opened it up, but yeah, a lot of pieces, so I just broke it into many more pieces. I could have broke it smaller. I just thought like I might as well break it kind of big. I didn't know if it would like fall apart in the soup. It actually stayed together pretty well. And then I also put in the rest of a bag of frozen spinach that I had and a little bit of oat milk. This is like extra creamy oat milk. I was finishing off that container and then I ended up putting a little bit of Silk Next milk in there. It's just a 2% version. It doesn't really matter. I just thought like a little bit of milk would make the broth good, a little extra creamy. And this was actually highly delicious. It was highly enjoyable, highly delectable.
I'm also thawing this hummus. I made some homemade hummus for Christmas. It actually looks fine, like the consistency. I was worried how the consistency would be because hummus doesn't always freeze that well. I thought about I could make like a hummus pasta or something. Speaking of pasta, this is the partially used pasta slash noodle bin. There's like half a bag of macaroni, which I'm not gonna worry about trying to use this week because it's a good amount, like it'll just get used, you know. And then there's also a small amount of linguine, so I can think about doing something with that as well.
Okay, so we're cooking the linguine and we're going to make a hummus pasta, okay? First, we're putting some olive oil. I wanted to add some onions, saute some onions with some mushrooms that I had. I thought mushrooms would go well with like a creamy hummusy pasta, you know? And if you think hummus pasta sounds gross, that's honestly fair. Even after making it multiple times and enjoying it, I also think it sounds gross, you know? But it's just not. I don't know what to tell you, okay? Or, I mean, you might not like it, sure, but I personally like it, okay? Maybe instead of thinking of a hummus sauce or hummus pasta, just think of like chickpea pasta. Like, it's pasta made with a sauce made from blended chickpeas. Does that sound less gross? Anyways, I put some daring chicken in there because we had some of that. I'm adding some seasonings. So yeah, we got the onions, the mushrooms, the daring chicken, and some seasonings. And we're just sauteing it up, you know, letting the water release from the mushrooms, okay? And then also I'm adding a greens mix that has arugula and spinach. So yes, this is the additions, you know. This looks really cursed, but that's just the pasta water that I put into the mushroom container to keep it for a sec, and then I'm mixing it with some hummus, okay, to thin it out. I could have put more water to this, or milk, especially some canned coconut milk. That's honestly what I should have done, or just a fatty milk, you know. Should have added more liquid to this. I think my problem was it was too thick of a sauce. It wasn't saucy enough. I also added nutritional yeast, but I thought it was good, you know. I thought it was good. It wasn't my best hummus pasta, okay? Like I said, I feel like it could have been saucier. It just soaked up that sauce so quick. Adding some more olive oil. You can never have too much. You can, but... And then I'm adding back in all the other stuff, mixing it together. It's looking worse as we go. I don't know why. And yes, here's me trying to get some, and something about the way the chicken is stabbed. Something the way the chicken is on the fork while spinning just looks so... I hate it so much. So, anyways.
I don't know. Oh, I have this Miyoko's mozzarella that I also froze because it was just getting close to the date and I got scared. I think I got it on sale at grocery outlet, so it was like expiring soon. But I keep saying we're going to defrost this and then make a pizza. I have pizza sauce, I have the cheese. I don't have dough, but I'll make it from scratch because I like making pizza dough from scratch and it's really easy. And then also, I specifically bought some of this for the pizza. I always forget about this product because I guess because they don't sell it at every store. It's not like at Target and Walmart, I feel like. Maybe it is at Walmart though. I should probably look harder. But I got it at Sprouts and I like it because it's very, very versatile. So it's just like a good thing to like have in the fridge that you can use for like anything. It's just, you know, a tube of sausage. You could cook it up and put it in like a burrito, put it on pasta. You can make a breakfast meal out of it, put it on pizza like I'm thinking, you know? I wanted to have like a fun meat for the pizza, but I feel like pepperoni, vegan pepperoni is always like really expensive and half the time not even that good. Yes, so I have the meat, I have Arby's. I have the meat, I have the mozzarella, I have the sauce, I'll make the dough. I think we have olives. Yes, we have olives. And probably like spinach or whatever.
Okay, so we're making a pizza, and I'm making the dough from scratch because, you know, you really should get in the habit of that. Obviously, sometimes life calls for pre-made dough, and some pre-made doughs are good. Some also suck though. Like sometimes you're paying extra money for worse, you know? Sometimes things that are more expensive are worse. So anyways, I'm making some dough. Pizza dough's so easy and so cheap. So I just, you know, try it once. See how you feel about it. And then you can measure whether it's worth it or not for you. It's also usually vegan already. So it's not like you have to like figure out how to make it vegan, you know? Anyways, we are cooking some of this sausage roll or whatever you want to call it. Sausage tube. It looks really gross. I'm just cutting it up into smaller pieces. Yeah, I could have cut it with a knife, but I didn't. And kind of got an arm workout, not gonna lie. I'm adding a little bit of seasoning to it and just sauteing it up a bit before you put it on the pizza because I feel like it's not gonna cook enough on the pizza, you know? You know, I wanted to make one giant pizza. I thought that'd be fun. I've done this before and I think I did make the same mistake last time too. But, you know, I love a thick pizza. It's almost more of like a pizza focaccia. You guys ever heard of Sweet Tomatoes? They used to have like a focaccia bread. I want to say focaccia so bad, but I know it makes people very angry. They used to have a focaccia bread that had like pizza topping kind of on top of it. Did it? I don't even know. Maybe it just had tomato sauce. But anyways, it's a thick ass pizza. You know, should I have made 2 smaller pizzas so that it would cook better and easier? Maybe, but it still turned out okay in the end. I'm just saying, maybe don't do this if you want your life to be easy. So we're just putting tomato sauce on that pizza, sausages on the pizza, and some spinach. And then these are the olives, artichoke hearts, and sun-dried tomatoes. I just put them all in a cup so that I could cut them with my little scissors all in the cup, you know, and then just spread them on the pizza because I didn't feel like getting on a cutting board. I also really hate cutting like these oily, moist things on a cutting board, you know? I hate cutting like oily artichokes and sun-dried tomatoes on a cutting board and touching with my fingers. Sorry, that's the way we did it. Also, I know people hate when I use like scissors for like pizza. Well, you're not changing me, okay? Nothing you can say will make me stop. Honestly, for a second I considered it. I was like, should I not use scissors because it makes some people mad? But no, that's not gonna happen. It's so convenient. Are you kidding me? Anyways, we're putting some of the Miyoko's cheese on here. That cheese is really, really good. Although it doesn't melt like how you would normally want it to melt for pizza, and you kind of have to just awkwardly crumble it all over the pizza like this. You could cut it into like slices and do the whole like margarita pizza thing, but I felt like this is easier for when you have like so many toppings. So anyways, I also put some oil and salt around the crust because that makes it so much better. Seriously, if you salt the crust, like specifically the crust, it makes it taste like pretzel, like a pretzel. It's so good. And anyways, it did stick to the pan a little. Well, it didn't stick to the pan, but it was you know, I had to put in some like arm power to get it away from the pan. Anyways, yeah, I'm cutting it with the scissors, or shears, I guess. Come on. I mean, cause like I can't cut it right on the sheet, you know, or I'll like scrape the sheet, and I can't put it on a cutting board because I don't have a cutting board big enough. Also, why would I put it on a cutting board when I can just do this? Very just like pizza bread, and it's very good. And yeah.
Oh, I have a bunch of seaweed products that have been neglected. I have some seaweed snacks. Oh, well, it expires in March, and also if it comes time, I can just eat it like a snack. So maybe I shouldn't worry about this. But I have this seaweed salad mix. I've used it in videos before. It's really fun. All you do is just soak it in water and then you have seaweed salad. And it's like a fun little thing to add to things. And there's not that much in here. I think that's why I haven't used it, because it's just like there's not enough for a lot of things. So I just kind of leave it in there like, oh, I'll use it like put it on top of something, and then I just don't. But I also have some nori sheets for sushi that I bought a long time ago that are actually expired. But I googled it and it seems like they last a long time after the expiration date usually, as long as it smells fine, looks fine, it's not like getting yellow or whatever, like it hasn't changed color or anything. I mean, it looks exactly the same. It looks totally fine. It hasn't even been opened yet, so I feel like it's fine. I'm at least going to eat it.
Alright, so now we're making the sushi, and as you can see, I already cut up some carrots and cucumber, and I'm going to cut up some tofu. Whenever I just want to throw some tofu into a meal and I want it to be a little bit crispy like fried tofu, you know, but I didn't have time to like marinate it or press it or whatever, who cares? This is what I'm doing now, okay? I cut it up into small pieces, whether that's cubes or strips like this, or if you just crumble it with your fingers for whatever you're going for, you know, do that. And then I mix it with olive oil, cornstarch, salt. Right here, I'm not mixing it very well because I cut it in these too thin of shapes to really like stir it around, you know? That was my bad. But mix it, you know, somewhat. And then I air fry it at 400 degrees for, I think, 10 minutes. Okay, I'll have to check on that. And obviously, you know, depending on what size you cut it and everything, it just depends. So just maybe do 5 minutes, look at it, maybe turn it over, you know, whatever. But it's so easy and it's so good. Obviously, you can add other things. You can marinate your tofu, season it, whatever, but I'm adding it to sushi with other sauces and stuff, so I just put salt. Anyways, I also got this Omni pork from Walmart recently, and my roommate suggested that I should try to make spam musubi with it because of this whole thing making sushi and trying to use up the seaweed, you know? So I thought, let's do that at the same time as the sushi. That was a mistake because that's too much for one night, you know? I was like getting tired while I was making this, so we'll get back to that. But anyways, I'm making some veggie rolls with carrots, cucumber, and avocado, and some tofu. Some of the tofu that I made, you know, just a tofu veggie roll. I don't know, like, okay, I'm not going for anything authentic here, so don't expect me to, you know, this is just a fun little, you know, easy sushi using what I have, okay? No one ever think that I'm coming on here to be like showing you the proper way to make sushi, okay? Don't, okay? If you want to give me tips for how to make it better, that's great. I appreciate that. But don't be like, you're not doing it correctly. I never said I was going to do it correctly, okay? Please understand this right now if you didn't understand it before. So yeah, spam musubi. You know, I don't really know a lot about spam musubi, and I was planning on doing like following a recipe or something, or like doing more of like a little Google search, but by the time I got to making it, I kind of just wanted to do it easy and quickly because I was tired, and I realized I had planned to make too much for one night, for this night, you know? So I just made something similar to what spam musubi seems like in my head. Okay, so I didn't really do much. I just shoved it all in this little container that was similar to this. This is the container that I had that was closest to, you know, like a spam can. It was a little too big, so it ended up a little too big. It's kind of the ratio of rice to meat is not quite right. But they looked really cute, and it was fun to do this. But yeah, I didn't add anything to them because I wanted to try the Omni pork how it was, and I figured we could always add sauce to it as we're eating it, you know? And now I'm making some avocado cucumber rolls because I realized that I really should use up all the avocado that I cut because obviously it'll go brown, but I knew I could save the other veggies. Just, you know, they'll keep for a little while. So anyways, now I'm plating my little sushi, and I'm using some of this Japanese barbecue sauce that I got recently that I was really excited to use. I really like it. The flavor is really good. But it gets stuck in the nozzle, which I think is silly because it's like you guys chose the bottle, you know, you guys. So I don't know, did I get a bad bottle or something? But it's so good. I also put some of my spicy mayonnaise that I think is just sriracha and vegan mayonnaise, sesame seeds, and the Japanese barbecue sauce, but only spicy mayonnaise on the one roll. And yeah, it was all great. Loved it all. Definitely need to make sushi more often. It is pretty easy. It's just a bit time consuming depending on how you do it. And like next time I won't cut as many veggies as I did because I really didn't need to cut that many veggies. And also I won't do the whole like spam musubi and tofu thing. I should just stick to one protein, you know, or split the labor obviously with friends and do like a friend sushi night. That's fun. Or buy pre-made things. Anyways, yes, recommend making sushi at home. It's fun. So yeah, that's everything. And that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring this video. If you want to sign up for a Thrive Market membership, you can click the link down in the description below or go to thrivemarket.com/EmilyEwing. You can get 30% off your first order, as well as a free gift worth up to $60. I hope you have a great rest of your week and eat something really delicious, and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Love you guys. Bye bye.